thought it would be fun to do something a little bit faith-based. I am going to be using paper today. This is just a very easy paper craft. I like to, I'm a lolly, by the way. My grandkids call me and my husband, we're Lolly and Pop. So I'm a lolly to some grandkids, and I love to treat them for different holidays and all the fun things. And so I have some little goodies I'll be giving them on Easter. And I want this year to really be certain that I kind of tie in the reason we're celebrating Easter in the first place. Some of them are very much old enough to understand the Easter story. Some of them are at that age where they're just starting to learn. They're at a good age where they're starting to learn. And so I'm making them a little cross, a paper crafted cross. I'm going to tie it onto their little Easter bundle that they're getting from Lolly and Pop. And then on the back of the cross, I'm going to put a verse. More than likely, I'm going to put John 3:16 because I think that's just a universal verse that I think just about everyone at every age can understand. And I may change the words slightly just for a little bit of easier understanding for the younger ones. But I thought this could be really neat because I'm kind of envisioning that, the whole point of this is to make sure they're understanding why we're celebrating Easter in the first place. Okay. As a believer, that's important to me as a Christian. I want to make sure that they understand why we're celebrating Easter in the first place, why we're having all this fun and we're having lunch and we're going to church and, all those things. And then I thought afterward, this little cross I think would be really adorable to keep in their Bible. They could keep it as a bookmark, or maybe their mom will keep it as a bookmark until they're old enough to have, to put it in their own Bible or something like that. Okay. So I'm going to show you very simply today what I'm making to put on their little Easter bundles. Okay. If you have some cardstock, I just have a few varieties of cardstock right here. I'm going to give you measurements here in just a second. And then I cut just some patterned paper. You can see some of it's floral, some has Easter eggs on it. I tried to choose kind of Eastery colors. These are just from some of my scrapbooking papers. And then I pulled out some inks here. In fact, let me make my screen smaller for just a second. So we're going to be playing with chalk inks today. I love using chalk inks on paper. Really, really fun. This will be a lot of fun for us to play with. And then I also pulled out one of my punches from my stash. You guys, this is old. I have had this forever. It's a heart punch. I'll give you the dimensions of it, but I'm sure you probably have something. Maybe you have a heart punch or something similar in your stash. And I also, of course, had another idea about these, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Okay, you know how you start crafting, you start doing one thing, and then it's like, oh, but I could do this. So we're going to talk about the this after we get a couple of these made. Okay. What would you use in place of chalk ink? You don't even have to add chalk ink at all. I just enjoy adding it to the edges of the paper, but you don't actually have to have it. It's just it's an optional thing. You can see how it works today, and then decide maybe if you want to try it. Okay. All right. Is anybody else out there a lolly? I see a mama and a papa. I saw a Grammy a while ago, I think. A Grammy and a grandpa. I see a nanny, a Mamie. That's cute. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, it's just because we become grandmothers doesn't mean that we are off the hook from raising children. I really, truly believe it takes a village to raise kids, especially these days. So as a grandparent, if you are doing something for your grandkids, maybe this would be a good thing for you to do too. And like I said, it's very, very simple and very easy to create. All right. I see a Grammy out there. Nana, Mima. Nani. Oh, I like that too. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to change my screen up here just a little bit so that you can really see my workspace, my work table. A ruler is going to be helpful. A ruler will be helpful too. And I'm going to give you a few measurements. All right, I'm going to give you a few measurements first. Okay, so the cardstock I'm going to be using today, this is just solid paper, right? Just solid color paper, is 4 by 6. So it's 4 inches by 6 inches. That's 4 by 6. And the pattern papers are a 1/2 inch smaller. They're 3.5 by 5.5. Hi, Susan. Susan Lyles is here with us today, so she's going to post some of this in the comments, make it easier for you guys. So 3.5 by 5.5. And then my little heart punch here, I tried to measure it out. It's about 2 inches wide by 1.5 inches tall. I really don't think that matters. I think you could use whatever you want to in the center. This is just going to be in the center of the cross. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a few. Okay. So I am going to be using a ruler today to help me out, and some tacky glue. Now, if you're a paper crafter and you have like a tape runner, just use whatever your favorite adhesive is. I'm going to be using my Fast Grab tacky glue for this. I'm also going to be using just a little bit of foam tape. This is also, if you're a paper crafter out there, you might have pop dots, squares or circles. This is just foam tape that I can cut in the size that I need. Okay. The other thing I'm using, a friction pin. Now, this is also optional, but oh my gosh, it's so great to use a friction pin. These are very inexpensive, and I use them all the time in all kinds of my paper crafting, okay? So let's start off with this bright green right here, and let me see. That looks pretty on it. Okay, I think I'll use the floral on it. Let's do this one first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the patterned paper, yes, 4 by 6, 3.5 by 5.5, and then I'm going to have a heart, which is about 2 by 1.5, but you can use whatever you need. Okay, so I'm going to take my friction pin, and the first thing I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to lay my ruler in the center. Can you guys see this okay? Hang on, I think I'm going to do this. Oh no, I did the wrong thing. Hang on. Sorry about that. I'm going to make this a solo. There we go. All right, I think that'll be better. All right, there. So what I'm going to do is I'm put my ruler, just eyeball it. You don't have to measure this, just kind of eyeballed it in the center of this patterned paper. And I'm going to take my friction pin and I'm going to draw a line and another line. So now I have this little roadway. You see the lines going right down the middle of my 3.5 by 5.5. Okay, we're gonna basically create a cross. So now I'm gonna come down a little bit, like here, that's probably about 1 inch. I don't know. Again, I'm just gonna eyeball this. I'm gonna come down a little bit and then just draw lines to that line. And here, and actually, if you want to go all the way across, you can. It's not going to matter because your pin line is going, the pin line's going to disappear. Okay, so this is what it's going to be. If you don't have a friction pin and you're just using, just draw really lightly with like a pencil, so that maybe you can go in and erase some of those inside lines. Okay, a zero centering ruler. I don't know that I've heard of that. All right, so now I'm going to just cut. I'm going to cut away the outside, where the outside corners are. And we're going to wind up with a really cute cross. And again, I just felt like this would be perfect for today, since I'm making them anyway for my grandies for their little Easter goodies that I'm giving them. So very, very simple here. Very, very simple to do. And in fact, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do another one too. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's do, here's one of the Easter eggs. Yeah, let's do the Easter eggs. That's cute. Okay, let's do this again. So again, this is the pattern paper that's 3.5 by 5.5. I'm just eyeballing to kind of find the center here. Taking my friction pin and I'm tracing on each side of the ruler. If your ruler is thicker than mine, you're just going to have a thicker cross. If it's thinner than mine, you're going to have a thinner cross. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Again, just eyeballing. Very easy to do. If you have questions, let me know. Yeah, we're going to erase the ink here in just a second. Let me get this one done. What are y'all's plans for Easter? Anybody else out there have some plans? Is anybody traveling? We're supposed to have beautiful weather here in Texas for Easter weekend. Might be a little windy, but it's supposed to be nice, not raining. And then just remember, you're just cutting away the outside, where the outside corner is, that part. Look how cute those are, right? So now I want these lines to disappear, okay? I want these lines to disappear. You're going to your daughter's house. That's what we're doing. Oh, you have a shrimp and crawfish bowl. Ooh, I bet that's fun. Oh, you work on Easter Sunday, so you'll probably bring in special food for your coworkers. That's wonderful, Sue. Yes, we are having Easter lunch at my house after church. But everybody's bringing something, so that's very helpful. So just using my heat gun, you can see that the lines are gone. The ink just disappears. So those friction pens are great, great, great. You can use them on fabric, felt, wood, I mean, everything. Paper, obviously. I mean, you can use them on all kinds of things. And they're just great for that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to add some ink to these. I want to add a little color to these. And let's see. I think I'm going to add a little purple to this one. The floral one. I think this would be great for one of my granddaughters. And my granddaughters love purple. Every shade of purple. So this color is called, this is a new color. It's called Purple Dahlia. Isn't that pretty? So these little chalk inks, they have a different kind of pad on them, and because they're chalk inks, it's more of a, I mean, they're wet, but they're dry. Like they blend really easily. They're not like your normal stamping inks. They have that wonderful kind of chalkiness to them that makes them great for blending. And as you can see, I'm just applying this right directly from the pad to the paper. It works great. You can use little daubers or makeup sponges if you want to, but see that purple around there? And then you know the part that's always hard to get to when you have little inner corners like this? Look how the pads have these little tips. They have these little pointy tips. And it's so great because then you can get in all those little corner areas that sometimes are kind of hard to get into. Some people hold their ink pads differently. I have a tendency to hold mine on the side. Some people hold them like this. Everybody holds them differently. I usually hold mine on the side. I don't know. You just hold them the way that it feels natural to you. They have a very soft look. Like you can stamp with them, but you're going to get a much softer look than you would with like regular stamping type inks. Okay, they're so pretty. See how pretty that is? It just really makes things pop. And then on this one, let's do some blue on this one. This is Blue Lotus. Blue Lotus. Let's see, I haven't used all these new colors yet. So, ooh, that's pretty. I like it. Now I'm what you call a heavy inker. I am kind of a messy inker. I like that. I like it being kind of wispy and not super clean. So that's why I kind of like going directly from the pad to my paper or whatever I'm inking. I use these on canvases a lot too if I'm napkinizing. So I like some beautiful heavy ink. Do you see, like, kind of in here, I get kind of messy with it, and I just really love that look. Okay. All right, those two look great. So after you ink them, then we're going to put them on top of a certain color of cardstock. I think I'm going to put this purple on this really pretty kind of spring green color. And then maybe, let's see, what color should we do this one on? What if we did an orange? Remember, I've got boys, so can't make everything too pinky. That actually looks pretty cute on that. Or I could go with the blue. Let's see. Well, let's do the blue. I like the blue. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my craft glue. Okay, I'm going to take my craft glue. If you want to use a different type of adhesive, of course you can. Anything that's good for paper. And I'm just kind of barely squeezing just so I get a tiny bit out, and then I just kind of push the I don't know, the nozzle. I kind of use the nozzle to kind of paint it on. And then we're going to take this and put it right in the center of this paper. So you're going to wind up with a border here, a border here, here, and here. So we want those borders. That border is important. So I can put it on really lightly. We do have some little tips for this, but I don't have a tip on this one. Little micro tips that you can use. I'm just being careful. All right, and let's do this one the same way. All right, everybody got that part? Yes? Love this glue. It's so nice. All right, so next we're gonna, and this is something if you want to use like your longer scissors for, you can. I'm just going to use my my little snips here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut. Remember, we have got this border here already. So I'm going to cut kind of like we did before, but I'm going to cut a little larger so that I have this little border going around. And I'm just hand cutting this, y'all, because you know what? Nothing about this project has to be perfect. The only being that was ever perfect was the person that was on this cross, correct? So we are not going to worry about perfection. We're just going to cut this little border right here. That's why it helps to go ahead and center the cross in that 4x6. This was a 4x6 before we started cutting. So now we have this pretty cross. Isn't that pretty? Let's go ahead and cut this one as well. And there's going to be plenty of room on this cross to write a verse on the back. So I will be putting a verse. I think I'm going to go ahead, go with John 3:16 on the back of these. And then I think they're just going to be precious. I'll show you what we're going to do with them. We're going to put a heart on them, punch a hole so that we can tie them. I'm going to tie them onto their little goodie basket from me. I'm going to cut that one down, that side down just a little bit. And then they can use them as a keepsake to keep as like a bookmark in their Bible. All right, look how pretty that is. Isn't it pretty with the inking? The inking really just adds a lot. It adds kind of some dimension. I think it's so pretty. Now, I could ink the edges of the cardstock too, but I'm not going to. I really kind of like it just being just like this. I think that looks really good. And then you'll see on the back, we're going to have, there's plenty of room to write a verse or a message or whatever it is that you want to put on these. If your cardstock has a little sticker on it like this, they just peel right off. Choop. They just peel right off just like that. Okay, my next step is going to be to add a heart. So again, I'm trying to use up some scraps. I'm a scrapbooker also, so I always have some paper scraps and things. So I think, like I said, my granddaughters, they love purple so much. So I might do like a lavender on that. And then let's see, what do I want to do on this one? Maybe, let's see, do I have like a green? I'm just, again, looking through my scraps. Oh, I think maybe a yellow. I don't know. Does it really matter? I don't think boys are going to, does it matter? I'm just going to pick one. I may have to pick out some polka dots or something for them. I'll just pick this yellow for now. So I've punched a couple of hearts here, and then I can go in and ink these hearts as well. So I'm thinking, let's go ahead and do maybe, I know this is going to be for one of the girls, so I'm going to ink a little bit of pink on this one. So pretty. And use my little tip to kind of get down that middle part. And again, I know I'm kind of messy, but we all roll our own way, right? And then let's see. I don't think I want to do that bright. Let's maybe do some green on this one. Ooh, that's a pretty green. This one's called Weeping Willow. That's pretty. So this is where I had the other idea. You know, that's usually what happens when we create. We create with one plan, and then we have a whole nother idea. So let me tell you what my other idea was with these. When I was thinking about this, I was like, you know what? I could make this even more personal. Instead of punching the heart out of a piece of patterned paper, I could do their photo, right? I could pull out some pictures, just some pictures that I have, and take my heart punch and like punch their little face could actually be on here if you wanted it to be. It just depends. I also like the idea of maybe personalizing it on the back. So maybe you have just a little circle punch or a square punch and you put their picture on the back with the verse. I actually really like that the best, because then that just kind of helps them visualize themselves. And so this way, this side can look all pretty. We can maybe put a photo on the other side and the verse. Okay, wouldn't that be precious? I think that'd be so sweet. So now with the hearts here, I'm going to use a little bit of my foam tape. And you guys, this just cuts really easily, just a little bit. I don't want it to be two dimensional, because remember, I want them to be able to use it as kind of like a bookmark in their Bible. So I'm just going to use one piece on the backs of these hearts. And then it's double-sided, so you just peel off the little backing and it's going to be nice and sticky. And that way the heart can go right in the center of the cross. Actually, let me raise it up just a hair. There we go. And it's lifted up. It's boosted, right? It's got a little boost. Look how pretty those are. Aren't those cute? I mean, they're just, this is something very simple paper craft, very, very fun. And then I have one over here that I made. It's kind of my sample, my prototype right here. And I want you to see that I just punched a hole in the top, and then you can just tie some twine or some ribbon. I probably won't be adding all of this until I get their little bundles together, because I'll tie this off of their bundle. And that, like I said, could be twine, ribbon, anything like that. Isn't that sweet? These are just so cute. Are any of my Bible journalers here watching? I do have a group, a membership group that's called the Faith Journaling Experience. I mean, these would be beautiful for us to make for our Bibles, right? We can make these as a beautiful bookmark for even for our own Bibles. And, you know, depending on the age of your grandchild, you could even do this craft together, right? This could be like a family craft. Could be really nice. So literally just punch a hole, and then I'll just take some ribbon or twine to tie these off. Isn't that sweet? I think they're so pretty, and this is something very, very easy to do. Let me show you this really quick, right? Just for a second. Once you determine like how much twine you need to whatever you're going to tie it off of. I like to do this. So I don't know. You don't have to do it this way. It's just up to you. But you could kind of loop your twine through whatever you're going to attach it to. And I like to take the tails, both tails at the same time through the hole. Now pretend like it would already be tied to something. And then you can just come in and tie a bow. Really easy. And then, you know, if after they get it and they have their little treats or whatever, you could untie it, tie the bow again, just to make it look cute for a bookmark. Oops, let me use these scissors. These are a little sharper. Okay, so it could be something that simple. And then if you want, especially if you are going to use this like as a bookmark, I would put just a little bit of hot glue right here. I don't have my glue gun on, but I just put a little drop of glue, maybe even just the tacky glue, and just right under the knot of the bow. And that way it's not going to slip out. Okay. Isn't that cute? I think they're so sweet. Now, one more thing that I don't know, I really like to do is I kind of like to add pin work to things. Now, if you have the time for this, great. If you don't, great. If you don't have chalk inks, still make your cross. It'll still be cute. The chalk inks just add a little extra to it, right? I like to do pin work sometimes. So I'm going to grab a pen. This is a fine tip journaling pen. It's actually a Pitt pen, but this could be your gel pens. I mean, this could be any kind of pen that you want to use. Okay. And I'm going to come in and just do a little bit of pen work. What I do is the second my hand lifts up, I just skip a little space. Okay, these are just like doodled broken lines. If you want to get fancy with it and put in some little dots or, you know, whatever little doodles, you know, you can do that too. But something about adding this pen work just really, I think, just sets off our paper crafts. You can tell me what you think after I get it all on here. And I'm also going to put some on the heart. And again, it can be wiggly. It's kind of just a doodly, artsy, doodly look. Isn't that pretty? Just that little simple line, just those little broken lines. That's it. And to me, they look so pretty. And like I said, this doesn't have to be a fancy pen. This could be any gel pens that you have. Maybe you have a sparkle gel pen or a metallic gel pen. But I just something about that little line on there, to me, it just really, really makes the project. And then, of course, eventually, probably tonight, I'll be putting on all of the verses, writing their names and putting their verses. I really do want to put a picture on the back. Hopefully I have enough time to do that. Okay, so see again, just kind of around this edge. Now, this particular pattern it's got a lot of pattern going on. So let me show you another idea. If you wanted to, we could come in and just doodle around some of the flowers. You don't have to do it around all of them. You should be able to see a big difference. And again, I try to kind of go kind of fast so that they don't look perfect. I don't want them to look too perfect. I want them to have that kind of hand-drawn doodly kind of look. But you see, so like you could even pick just certain flowers to come in and maybe add some fun pen work too. Let's just do this a little bit on here. I probably shouldn't have put the bow on here just yet. And then depending on who you're giving it to, I know my girls, they love sparkly things. So if I wanted to, I could come back and add some sparkle to this. right? Now I'm just showing you, at this point, I'm just showing you things that you could do. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying you could. And so you could use something like this that's just stickles. This one's almost gone. That's how much I use it. Let's see if I can get enough out. Okay, I think I can. So I can come in and maybe add a little sparkle to the flowers that I drew around. Again, doesn't have to be everything. You could sparkle the heart in the center of the cross. That would be lovely. Think about who you're giving it to. So let's look at that sparkle. Isn't that pretty? So just with layer after layer, you're just adding more of this beautiful look. We could come in, I could come in and add some sparkle on, well, maybe. Let's see if I can get more out of this. Oh, I don't know. It's on its last legs. But I was just saying I could come in and add sparkle to the polka dots, right? So just something kind of fun. This is, like I said, this is what I'm going to be adding on all of their little Easter bundles with some of their Easter treats and things. And really the main reason I'm doing this is because I want to draw focus to why we're celebrating Easter in the first place. Okay. They'll have these cute little keepsake crosses if they want to use them as a bookmark in their Bible or just hang in their room or whatever they want to do with them. I just think they'll be really precious. Put a verse on the back and it gives us something to talk about, right? And I can say, I put this cross on your bundle because, and it just kind of gives me an opportunity just to talk to them on their level, that, you know, yes, the Easter bunny is really fun and like finding all the eggs, the chocolate bunnies, all of the things. But the reason we do all that is to celebrate new life, right? And we're celebrating the new life that Christ has given each one of us because he took our sins to the cross. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this today. These, like I said, they're just really, really cute. Very, very easy to create. Let me put this one up here too. And I hope that you'll make some, even if you don't have someone to give these to for Easter. You know, this could be something good just to make up and have put verses on the back. Just have them in your bag or your purse, and let's bless someone out there. Bless someone out there. Maybe you want to, if you're eating dinner out tomorrow, then let's give one of these to your server, right? If you just want to leave, you know, a something somewhere, where, you know, pray about it. God will make sure the right person finds it, you know? So it's just a great way. I almost treat it kind of like a scripture card, right? Just something beautiful that you can write on the back, put a verse on the back, add a photo if you want to, if you're going to gift them to someone specific. I think that could be really sweet. Okay. Do you guys like them? Very easy to make. I mean, you just saw, you don't need a lot of templates. You just need paper. You just need some pretty, you know, pretty papers. I think they would even be pretty, like, I don't know, like I'm always picking up old hymnals and things like that. So I even think out of like music paper, if even they were just white with music paper on them, they could be, you could really make them look very elegant. I think you could have them look all different, you know, types of ways, right? Different color schemes, make them fancy, make them whimsical and fun. They could go kind of to both ends of the spectrum. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I need to add the date on there, 2024. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I hope you liked this little craft today for Good Friday. I just felt like we should do something kind of geared towards our faith. And I started thinking about the fact I was going to be making these anyway. I was like, you know, I'm just going to share them with you. And, you know, hopefully it'll inspire you maybe to make some as well.